mincing my words right now. If we're not gonna really sort this shit out, I'm gonna be out. Whoever needs to sort this thing out should do it now. Or I'm out of this party, out of this train, and I'm not playing any games.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Sami Sampi. Today we're going to review Young, Famous and African episode 6. So the show starts with Zari. We see her walking in and she's actually visiting Andile because she wants to invite him on a trip that she's organizing for the group. The trip is going to be on a blue train, which is a South African luxury train that goes from Pretoria to Cape Town. Andile is happy to see her. He says that she's finally in the lion's den. And when she gives him the invitation, he said that he's sorry, but he's not going to be able to attend because he already made plans to go visit his father's grave with his siblings. Zari is shocked about it, but she said that she hopes that he changes his mind. He said that he's sorry, but this was already planned. And she's letting him know that the entire group is going to be there. And he's like, oh, really? That sounds like drama. And she's like, yeah, and it's going to be well. The next scene, we see the group coming in to get into the train. Everybody is looking good. I'm like, damn, that's how y'all dressed to go into a train or to travel? Swanky's Jerry that is wearing that outfit and he's like doing like this with it, you know, making sure he has effect. You know how Swanky is, but he's looking great. At some point, everybody is wondering, where are Annie and Nadia? And I'm like, Zari, what do you care about where they are? You know they don't like you. That's probably why they're not coming, right? Then we see Nadia and Andile. They're catching up. Andile wants to apologize for the way he acted with Nadia on the last time they talked. They're part of me, how did he talk to her? Andile always seems so polite and well-spoken. Maybe stuff happened that they didn't show. And Nadia is accepting his apologies gladly. And then they get to talk. They talk about their love life and everything. And then Nadia is letting him know that she doesn't really have a good relationship with her father. And that's probably why she doesn't have good relationship. She tells him that she was in a toxic relationship before. Now she's with Vic Mensa. And she also has some stuff going on with Diamond. And I'm like, what is going on with Diamond? I thought Vic Mensa was your boyfriend and you didn't want Diamond. That girl confuses me, y'all. Andile is telling her that maybe she should try to reconcile with her father. And she's like, she doesn't think she wants to do that because she doesn't want it to be disrespectful toward her mom. And Andile tells her that in the first 4 years of his daughter's life, it was not part of her life. So every year that her birthday would come, he would write her a letter, which he planned to give to her at some point. And a part of me is like, Andile has 2 baby mamas. One of his daughter, he hasn't seen the first 4 years of his life. And I want to know why. What happens? If any of you know, please leave a comment. Andile is so smooth talking that I'm wondering if he's maybe not just a player and that his actions are not as smooth as what comes out of his mouth. The train finally left without Annie. And when Zari is about to make a speech, Annie comes in and everybody is so excited to see her. And then Annie take a bottle of champagne and a cutlery and, you know, clink it to like have everybody pay attention because she wants to make a speech. Her goal is to thank everybody for coming on her trip. As she said that, we see that Kanye is just not happy about it. And I'm wondering what's going on. And then at some point, Kanye and Annie are talking while Zari is making a speech, which I thought was not necessarily nice, especially that they're like, it's not a lot of them. So if 2 persons are speaking at the same time that someone is making a speech, it does not look good, right? Zari is like, y'all stop gossiping. And I'm like, girl, like she talked to them like they were like some little children. And things don't go well from there. So then everybody leaves. Then it's time for dinner. The food looks good, y'all. Everybody's on their side. And then Annie and Swanky are forced to sit down with Zari. And then as they're sitting down, Annie obviously does not want to be there. And Annie and Zari is trying to make small talk and asking her about her wedding. And a part of me is like, Zari, see, that's why I don't like your type. Why are you asking her about things you said you don't care about? You said you don't care about a silly wedding. And that was not because you were mad. You really don't care about it and you really don't like Annie. So why are you trying to bring up a marriage as small talk? What type of small talk you can make with people? Talk about the weather, talk about clothing, talk about like small stuff like that. Don't ask her about her personal life. But Annie is being fair play, and she's telling her that, you know, they had a big wedding in Dubai, but this time around she'd rather have something intimate. And in the confessional, she's telling us that she don't want to go to, she does not want Zari's energy at her wedding. And Zari is also saying that she doesn't really care to go to Annie's wedding. And a part of me is like, so why do you ask? Annie is so uncomfortable that she said that she'd rather be on a helicopter than to be with Zari. And that made me laugh because it made me think about the previous scene on the previous episode that she had with Swanky when they were on the helicopter. So they arrive at their first stop, which is like a reserve. The next scene is Andile and his family going to visit his father's grave. And it's a very emotional moment. Andile tells us how he is suffering to lose his father. His father was everything to him. He really looked up to her, and it's difficult to fill in his shoe. And his father's grave is beautiful. And there's like a shoe in the front. I wonder if what the shoe is made of, but it's really, really nice. And he's saying that the reason why there's a shoe in front of his father's grave is because it's going to be very hard for anybody to fill in his father's shoe. So we see the love that he has for him, and he even cries on his confessional. And I'm like, yeah, losing a parent must be very, very, very hard. So at any age. So yeah, I felt bad. Back with the group, they're going on a safari, and at some point at night they're in front of hyenas and a lion, and Miss Annie is freaking out. She's saying that it's too close for comfort. She is a Niger babe, she's a black woman, she doesn't do this type of white people thing, and she is freaking out, and everybody else is freaking out, and they were really too close for comfort, and it was at night. Honestly, the way they were afraid, it was making me laugh, but if I was there with them, I probably would be just as afraid as they were. So that was a funny scene for us, the spectator, but I can imagine it wasn't funny for them. Annie was in the same car with Kanye, Kudzi, and Swanky. Zari was in the same car with Quinton and Katie, and they were talking about they didn't like the way Kanye and Annie acted towards Zari whenever she was making a speech, and it feels like she needs to let them know. And Zari agrees. Next scene, the group is eating their food, and Zari proceeds to let them know that she was not happy with the way they behaved the day before. And Kanye is so mad, y'all. Kanye is so mad that her wig is receding. Kanye is starting to talk to her and everything, and surprised, they're like, where is that coming from? And Swanky is like, we had a good day today, right? They're like, yeah, so why are we focusing on what happened yesterday? And then they're talking, and then Swanky is like, well, if you didn't like yesterday energy, you should have brought the energy to the table. And I was like, well said, Swanky. I kind of agree with that, but I don't, because I do think that they could have at least listened to Zari when she made her speech. Annie is telling Zari that this is not Instagram, that she needs to get over her high horse. They're not being nice. And Annie is like on her phone. Annie is letting Kanye take that battle. Annie is like, man, I don't even want to fight with Kanye, man. I'm good. And then they proceed to leave. Next scene, we have Nadia and Andile. I'm like, why are those two doing all those scenes? Like, we could go without that. Like, y'all didn't go to the trip. That's on you. I don't want to see y'all talk. Y'all ain't got nothing to say. And basically, Nadia is telling him that she is done with Vic Mensa. And I'm like, okay, girl. Next scene. The group is back in the train, and they're having like a poker type of dinner party. So everybody is dressed up to the night, but Annie came into some random outfit, and she's like, what
am I dressing for? Ain't nothing to dress for.
And once again, Zari noticed it, and I'm like, Zari, mind your business. She don't like you. You know she barely want to film with you. If she don't want to do her makeup to come and sit down next to you, you just leave her alone, right? We see Mr. Swanky coming in. Mr. Swanky is looking like Will Smith in Wild Wild West. and he's walking and he's looking, he has like bow leg, and he's just walking and he's letting us know tonight he doesn't want the group to be divided anymore. He's done with that and he's gonna let them know. So he gets there and everything, and then we have Kaylee, Quinton, and Zari on the side, and we have Annie, Kudzi, Annie, and Swanky, who's kind of like more in the middle, and it's, you know, they're talking, but it's pretty cold. And then at some point, Mr. Swanky stand up and he's like, you know what? I'm done with y'all. I don't want y'all to fight anymore. We need to fix this. He's done with the division. He doesn't have a problem with anybody's, but if they want to keep fighting, he's going to leave them. And then everybody is just looking at him like, what? And then he's like getting even more mad. And he's like, well, you know, I'm done with y'all. And then he started cursing, and I laughed so hard. I'm like, Swanky, keep to fashion. Comedy is not for you. What was this? Like, I literally didn't even believe him. He tried so hard to be mad. I'm like, Swanky, you know your ass ain't mad. Swanky wanted to have his moments. He only had one moment since the show started, which was his JQ cover reveal. He needed another moment in his show. So he needed to like make himself hear. And I'm like, oh Lord, that was hilarious. Let me all know if you think that Swanky was really mad, y'all. Let me know. Like, did you believe he was really mad? Then Kanye proceeds to talk to Zari in front of the group. She's letting her know that since she has come into the group, she brought a lot of division and she does not like it. When she had her issues with Annie, she talked to Annie separately. When other people had issues between each other, they talked about it separately. She does not understand why she is bringing Quinton and Kaylee about an issue that she has with her and Annie. Zari is trying to defend herself, but then she's like, you know what, stop, I didn't do anything. Everything that you're saying, you're projecting on me. You just cannot handle my confidence. And Kanye is letting her know, you're not Beyonce. This is not Instagram. All of us are young and famous. You're not the only one that's a star. You're not the only one that is rich. All of us, we are rich here. We are friends, and you don't have that type of behavior with friends. I think that what annoys Kanye with Zari is her hair. She doesn't like Zari aura, the way she presents herself. It bothers her. And I'm like, man, but she's been like this from the beginning, you know? So a part of me is wondering, what really was the problem? Like, what was the problem? Like, I don't understand. Is it something that, what did Zari say that really bothered her? Wasn't it really not a trip? Like, she didn't really organize the trip? Or did Zari say something about Kanye that made her angry? Like, what scene was cut? Because honestly, I didn't think that this whole situation necessitated them to fight. And I also felt like, you know what? When you did your speech, Kanye, at the beginning of the episode, everybody listened to you, you know? But then why are you so mad when Zari also wants to make a speech? Like, what is the problem? Didn't get it. I want to know your opinion on that. I felt like they were just forcing to have a fight. And since they're a little bit annoyed with the way Zari is, they just picked on her. Like, this time around, like, and when I say they, I'm saying Kanye because Annie, we know why Annie doesn't like Zari. But I just didn't understand what happened between Kanye and Zari, that Kanye brought in Zari into the group because they are friends. So I'm like, why are you suddenly becoming, you know, nemesis? Is it a competition thing? Is it, like, what is it? So let me all know what you think in the comment. And that's it, guys. That's it for today. This episode was okay. I don't really understand why they fought. The best part for me was whenever they were in the safari and they were afraid, and when Swanky made, you know, his show. New here, welcome, and I invite you to subscribe. And if you're not new here, thank you all so much for supporting me so far. And I will see you all tomorrow for episode 7 review. Bye.